What also happens is nausea and vomiting.
咁同埋咧就係有啲會發生就係譬如話你覺得係反胃啊，或者係嘔吐，
Many people experience that.
好多都會啦，反胃同埋嘔吐亦都正常嘅。
You really want to vomit. There is nothing. The stomach is empty, but you really feel very bad and want to vomit.
好得意啦，就係嗰個胃都空咗，明明冇嘢嘅，點解佢仲想嘔咧？
It means there is a disease in your stomach or in your duodenum or somewhere in this area.
好明顯就係點解冇嘢喺個胃度都想嘔咧？就係、嗰個胃裏頭咧有啲嘅傷口咧，有啲嘅胃潰瘍或者係啲腫瘤咧喺裏頭咧要咧嘔出嚟啊！
So, don't eat. Continue fasting.
咁就唔好食呵，繼續啦唔好食嘢，繼續斷食啦嚇。
And if you really feel so bad, what I suggest, take warm water, maybe add a little baking soda, drink it, and then put your finger inside and vomit.
咁如果你真係咧個感覺咧係好難受嘅話，成日都有反胃嘅感覺嘅話咧，咁會建議你咧就係咧去整一杯嘅暖水啦，就係加啲嘅小蘇打粉，咁你飲咗落去之後咧就扣喉啦，就將佢咧就洗翻出嚟啦，咁樣就會舒服好多啦。
And sometimes you will also feel very strong pain and want to vomit, and then if you vomit a little, blood will come out.
好多時候你胃痛到咧就係好想咧係反胃啦，係嘔出嚟，咁你咧做呢個咁嘅動作，你嘔到嗰啲可能有啲嘅血絲啊，有啲嘅血嘅嘢。
That means there is an ulcer in your stomach.
好明顯啊，咁就係你胃裏邊有胃潰瘍，有個傷口去裏頭。
So be happy because you can get rid of it.
亦都係咧，恭喜你啊！因為你透過咁樣嘅話咧，你可以將嗰個胃潰瘍咧係治療啦。
But if you vomit too much blood, probably you need to ask the doctor for an advice.
咁但係如果你嘔吐咧個血咧嘅量咧係過多嗰陣時候咧，咁你要請教醫生。
You can also experience that some of your joints may be swelling.
嚇，咁亦都係有啲情況就係話你注意你啲關節咧可能會腫起嚟啊。
Here and here.
膝頭哥或者係腳拗咧，就大部分會出現嘅就係腫脹。
Just continue fasting.
咁呢啲腫脹嘅問題咧就都冇問題，咁繼續俾自己斷食。
It will disappear.
咁咧就慢慢斷食嘅話咧，呢啲腫脹嘅象徵就會冇咗㗎啦。
When you stop fasting and then you drink water which contains too much salt, most probably you will have swelling of joints.
When you during fasting you
When you
drink
finish. When you finish.
finish fasting
When you
drink
finish fasting and drink
salt water。
anything which contains too much salt.
哦，佢話咧如果你係斷食嗬，斷食已經完咗啦，咁你翻嚟咧服食嗰陣時候，如果你食太鹹或者太多鹽分嘅東西咧，就好快脆咧，你會發現咧嗰啲有水腫嘅狀況，尤其是咧一啲關節咧就會腫起嚟啦。
So don't take salt after you finish fasting.
係咁建議你就係斷食之後嗬，就係唔好食鹽啦。
And then what you can experience, as I said before, heart palpitations, yes?
heart 心跳係啦，心率咧係唔正常啦。
I just mentioned before, so I don't need to
咁
repeat.
頭先係講過啦，個心咧係會亂跳嘅。
And then loose teeth.
牙齒咧可能會變得鬆動。
Because you see, many times we have some problems, some diseases in the gum, under the teeth, and we are not aware of it.
好多時候我哋譬如有啲牙嘅牙周病啊，或者係咧有啲嘅爛牙啊、成啊，喺個牙床裏邊有好多嘅細菌，我哋唔知道啦。
So when you are fasting, you may feel that the gum become less strong, and if you touch the teeth, you feel they are moving.
喺啊斷食期間咧，你會發現你嘅牙肉咧，可能咧就會係比較鬆啊，鬆開嗰陣時候咧，你啲牙齒咧，
So don't worry, let them move.
咁咧就會開始鬆動啦，會喐啦。咁你咧就唔好擔心，就有得啲牙咧係鬆都冇問題嘅。
They will not fall out.
佢唔會跌出嚟嘅棚牙。
Well, sometimes they can fall out.
咁咧就，但係咧有啲情況亦都會跌出嚟。
If they are in very, very bad condition and the body needs to heal this area, then it will throw out the teeth.
咁咧咩情況會跌出嚟啊？咁即係譬如有隻爛牙或者係你嗰度咧好嚴重，本來咧就已經係壞晒㗎啦。咁咧個身體會逼佢出嚟啦，咁咧就會跌出嚟啦。
But in this case, next the third teeth will grow.
咁但係咧，你唔需要擔心。如果佢真係逼佢出嚟跌咗出去咧，你第三棚牙咧會長出嚟。
So it is a very good and beneficial product for you.
嚇，咁對於嚟講掂啊，無端端得咗第三棚牙喎。
You can lose also more hair.
有可能咧就係譬如話你會甩頭髮啦，會比較多啲。
Well, just continue fasting.
咁啊，頭髮甩咗冇問題啦，咁你都係繼續咧係斷食。
But of course, if this loss of hair is caused by emaciation, it means you are fasting too long.
咁但係如果譬如話你咧甩頭髮咧嗰個情況咧係因為咧你身體已經係過瘦啦，咁佢已經係去燃燒身體嘅肌肉嗰陣時候咧，咁樣咧甩頭髮咧就唔正常啦，咁你就要咧停止咧斷食。
You may also experience psychic instability.
同埋你斷食咧一段時間咧，可能覺得咧我嘅精神啊或者我嘅情緒唔係好穩定。
Most often you will notice that when you are fasting, you become irritated much easier and get angry much easier.
好多時候咧，你斷食嗰陣時候，你會開始發覺自己好似咁猛整咁樣樣啦，好似脾氣咧好壞咁樣樣。
Because fasting is not only body is fasting, also the psyche, the nervous system undergoes quite big pressure.
咁樣就斷食唔係淨係咧身體裏邊有好大嘅壓力，喺精神方面咧都係咧有一個壓力嘅承受，即係承擔嘅。
So don't worry, just continue fasting.
嚇，唔需要擔心，咁啊就繼續啦去斷食。
If you get irritated easily, you can do the exercises you remember the day before yesterday and move the anger into feeling of love for yourself.
咁如果你斷食咧，覺得自己好猛震啊嚇，係好唔舒服嗰陣時候咧，咁你就可以咧係去鍛鍊一下咧，將呢一股嘅力量咧係化為咧一個嘅內在嘅喜悅。
So it's not a reason to stop fasting, just continue.
呢個都唔係一個理由咧，係停止咧斷食咁樣繼續啦。
You can also experience something which I call different reality.
咁啊，另外咧有一個嘅現象就話，可能咧會體驗到咧不同嘅實相。
You may see that the things and the world do not function as I thought because you see more and more that it is just like an illusion, it's not true.
你斷食期間咧，去到咧某一個程度咧，你可能咧會睇到咧就係咧整個實相嘅幕後咧嗰個幻象，咁你就話原來我所想嘅跟真正發生咧唔係一回事嚟嘅。
You can also see some spirits, some ghosts.
你除咗人之外啦，可能咧你已經去到一個靈性嘅層面，亦都睇到好多嘅無形嘅東西。
You may have visions of different immaterial beings, maybe angels, maybe gods.
甚至乎咧睇到一啲嘅比較神聖啊、靈性嘅無形嘅存有，譬如包括一啲嘅所謂嘅神啊、天使啊，都會見到。
It comes because the nervous system is become very under pressure.
Nervous system under pressure.
Fasting makes the nervous system under pressure, yes? Pressures the nervous system, makes it much more irritated.
因為點解咧？因為你嗰個斷食嗰陣時候，你整個嘅精神系統咧係好咧壓迫咯，咁你就會有啲壓力㗎，咁可能有啲嘅能量會逼出嚟，咁呢啲叫能量咧就會咧吸引啲無形嘅東西入嚟啦。
One of the reasons is because all the senses become more sensitive, so more data is coming to the nervous system.
咁其中咧一個咧原因就係因為咧你斷食啦，咁啊好多嘅五官或者係你個感應啊、感知咧非常之敏感啦。敏感嘅話咧，亦都係咧係多一啲嘅數據或者係嗰啲嘅諮詢嚇，呢個叫量子諮詢就會走入嚟啦。
So to help yourself, what would you do in such case?
咁如果你去到咁樣嘅狀況嘅話咧，你點樣可以幫助你自己咧
？Inner joy.
Inner joy.
Yes, very good exercise in that moment.
喺嗰一刻嘅話咧，咁你哋練習咧喺 inner joy 都好好。
And also we can do contemplation of passiveness.
咁或者俾自己咧做一個內觀。
So I mentioned some of the things which can happen as unpleasant symptoms, but of course many other things can happen.
咁我咧列出嚟咧，淨係咧其中嘅一部分啦，就係喺斷食期間咧，有啲咧係唔愉快或者係唔舒服嘅症狀，但係唔係淨係局限住咁多，仲有好多嘅。
Usually those different symptoms, the listed ones and the others, they are not a case where you should stop fasting. They usually mean you should continue fasting.
好多時候，大部分咧，你出現咧一啲嘅反應啊，或者一啲嘅咩症狀情況嘅話咧，唔係原因你停止咧係去斷食，咁咧係俾自己咧係繼續去斷食。
So let's do an exercise.
咁而家俾自己去做一個身體嘅運動。
今日分 question 唔好意思，頭先咧老師咪話，如果個瘦嘅人咧就未必用 fasting 同另嗰隻方法嘅，咁嗰個咩方法嚟嘅？
people that are very thin。
唔好咁乾斷。
但佢話仲有另外一個方法啊嘛，佢話要佢哋冇做 fasting。
For thin people，so you said that not just for fasting。
But don't do fasting.
已經瘦啦，仲做斷食就
係咯，咁有咩方法
？What else method？
Because thin people, they don't have fat, and the muscles they have is just what they need, so there is nothing to eat. But when you are fasting, the body will eat.
咁咧，你平時已經瘦人嘅話咧，冇乜脂肪嘅，冇乜脂肪嘅話，你開始斷食嘅話咧，佢就蠶食啦，嗰啲肌肉已經本身已經係支持咗呢個生命嘅，咁就會唔建議仲斷食。
The body will eat the remainings of fat and the muscles and the bones.
因為咧就你咁樣開始斷食嘅話咧，咁佢就會揾啦。如果冇剩餘一啲嘅多餘嘅脂肪咧，開始咧就蠶食嗰啲肌肉啦，包括咧係骨頭。
So instead of fasting, what you do is conscious eating because it's a strong healing method.
係啦。
Plus herbs.
各沾食晒，同埋咧加啲草藥係草本。
Because herbs are the most powerful medicine on our planet.
草本啊、草藥啊，係喺地球上面最強嘅一個嘅療愈嘅食物。
You just need to know how to use herbs.
你淨係咧要識得去研究啦，知道咧咩嘢草本係幫到自己。
Fasting is not always the best solution.
斷食唔係一定係最好嘅療愈嘅方法。
So let's do an exercise.
咁我哋去做一個運動。
A simple one.
呢個比較簡單。
You can find a little space around you.
揾個地方屬於自己嘅，散開。
And put your hands like this.
雙手咧放喺頭頂。
Stand comfortable.
記得舒服。
And then sit in air.
咁咧就坐空氣。
And sit as long as you can.
空
90
氣
degrees.
90度。
90 degrees.
膝蓋90度彎曲，屁股往後。
But not like this.
唔係屁股趌起，屁股往後。
Be
90
straight.
度，隻腳90度。
Be straight.
係直嘅，嗰個脊椎係直嘅。
When you feel pain, then okay.
咁啊痛咧就頂唔順就起身啦。
So you see, that's okay, that's enough. Just 30 seconds.
夠啦，30秒鐘就夠啦。
Simple exercise and efficient, and now you feel better.
簡單啊！做完之後有冇醒啲？
So we can continue. Unless you want more exercises.
除非仲要做多啲就繼續做。
But there is no need now.
唔需要啦，係咪？
We were talking about unpleasant symptoms.
剛剛咧就講咧一啲咧唔愉快嘅症狀。
Of fasting.
就係斷食會發生嘅。
Because inertia or non-eating, they have no unpleasant symptoms.
因為如果全辟谷或者係咧不食嘅話咧，唔會有啲咧唔愉快嘅症狀出嚟反映出嚟。
I want to make a comparison between fasting and inertia.
咁我就去比較啦，就係斷食啦，同埋咧係全辟谷嘅比較。
What's the difference? How to recognize whether you are fasting or you are in inertia?
你點樣知道自己嘅狀態？就話而家我係斷食緊啦，定係我係辟谷緊咧？
Well, there are at least 3 features that you can pay attention to.
有3個嘅特徵咧，你可以咧去注意一下。
First,
第一，
body weight changes.
你睇下佢咧，每日咧去量下自己嘅體重咧有冇改變先。
When you are in the state of inertia,
如果你已經進入一個全辟谷嘅狀態咧，
the body weight will stabilize.
體重咧係會穩定嘅，唔會再變㗎啦。
And it will be the perfect one for you.
同埋咧，呢個體重咧對你嚟講咧係最理想嘅。
So if you are too fat, you will lose fat. If you are too thin, fat will grow.
咁如果你係咧太肥嗰陣時候咧，咁咧就會脂肪咧就會失去。咁咧如果你係太瘦嗰陣時候咧，佢就會咧係會俾你長肉出嚟。
I remember when I was not eating, and then I went outside and become active I gave seminars, then I usually lost about 2 kilograms within 2 days.
我記得啦，當其時咧就譬如話我係好活躍㗎，我個生活咧就係、我一路咧係全逼谷 in India right at that time is。
Non-eating.
我嗰陣時候咧係冇食嘢，咁但我仍然咧去工作。譬如我咧去出去咧就講嗰啲工作坊，好似咁樣講足咧2日啦2 day 嘅，咁我就會跌咗咧2公斤2個 kilogram。
I put too much energy into talking and emotional engagement.
因為咧我咧係好多力氣啊，花咗咧譬如話係講嘢啊，咁同人啊一齊啦去活動啦。
So the body was not stable and it lost weight.
咁咧就我體重咧就唔穩定啦，咁咧我就跌咗2公斤。
Then when I come back home, I become quiet, do some exercises, and the body weight grew back 2 kilograms within 3 days.
咁我翻到屋企嗰陣時候都冇食嘢喎，咁但係我俾我自己休息啦，做翻多啲嘅體能運動啊，比較安靜啲嗰陣時候咧，3日內咧我就將嗰個2公斤咧就翻嚟啦。
So in the case of inertia or non-eating, the body weight will always go to the most perfect one, which is for you.
咁如果係不食同埋全逼谷嘅話咧，你嘅體重咧佢自然會咧係調整到咧一個咧最啱嘅狀態咧，咁就會穩定啦，唔會再跌啦。
But in case of fasting, the body weight will always go down, never stop going down.
記得啦，最一個好大嘅特徵就係咧，斷食嗰陣時候咧，你個體重咧就一路咁樣降低，越嚟越少嘅啫，佢唔會停嘅，慢慢可能個速度比較慢啲，但係佢都會一路咧係跌落去。
So when you start fasting, you may lose like 3 kilograms in 3 days.
咁可能你開初咧，但係頭嗰3日嗰陣時係跌得好快，3日可能跌咗3公斤嘅都有可能啦。
And when I was fat, I fasted for 3 days. I lost 5-6 kilograms.
咁我嗰時我好肥嗰刻嗰陣時候咧，我就3日咧就已經跌咗5-6公斤啦。
But then later you lose weight slower.
咁但係慢慢時間過嗰陣時候咧，就嗰啲體重慢慢跌咧就會慢好多。
And after several weeks of fasting, you may lose like half a kilogram in 1 week only.
如果你長期去到斷食嘅話咧，最後嘅階段可能咧幾個禮拜咧就先至跌咧半公斤。
But you always lose weight all the time.
咁但係斷食咧就一定係體重咧一路咁樣下降嘅。
In fasting.
喺斷食。
None when you are in the state of non-eating or inertia. The weight will be quite stable.
不食同埋辟谷咧就會穩定嘅，嗰個體重就唔會再跌㗎。
And then look at the physical and psychic and physical conditions.
咁咧就睇翻你自己咧喺心理、精神上邊同埋身心嘅狀態係點樣樣。
When you are in the state of inertia or non-eating, usually you feel very well.
不食同埋全逼谷嗰陣時候，你身心嘅狀態咧，你係非常之正嘅，係覺得好舒服啊，好好嘅。
Which means the body is full of energy and you have good mood.
咁同埋咧係精神充沛，心情愉快。
Usually you are full of joy and emanating love.
喜悅滿嘅愛。
And people can see that.
人家都感受到你嘅。
They see you are healthy and they feel you are full of love.
感受到咧你好健康，同埋咧係充滿愛。
But when you are fasting, most of the time you look like a suffering man.
如果你斷食嘅話咧，人哋睇你哇，你咁苦嘅，捱乜嘢啊
？Especially when you are fasting for a long time, yes.
尤其是咧，你斷食已經係好耐啦，咁你就睇落去咧就真係好苦啦。
And for sure, when you are forcing your body to fast longer than it should fast, which means you are emaciating your body. For sure, you will not look well.
咁尤其是咧，你咧斷食啦，去到咁長嘅時間，去到咧係你逼你自己咧唔食嘢，去到已經係過瘦或者消瘦嘅話咧，就好殘嘅個樣，你睇落去咧就好差啦。
I saw people who were claiming that they live without food. They say, I am pranic, I am living without food naturally, but when I look at them, I immediately know what they do is emaciation.
好多人咧喺度咧自稱咧自己，睇下我就係全逼谷者啦，我不食者。咁但係咧，我睇落去咧，呢啲人嘅能量啊，所有一切咧，我覺得佢咧係真係病㗎，真係消瘦，根本都唔係咧喺度捱餓，根本都唔係咧呢個不食者。
And those people, when they force, they really hurt the body and probably will die earlier.
咁如果你而家咁樣強迫你自己咧，就繼續落去啦，可能唔多久咧就會死啦。
Another thing which makes a big difference between fasting in India is how the body is built and sustained.
另一樣嘢咧就係咧斷食同埋咧辟谷嘅一個好大唔同咧，就係個身體咧點樣去維持嗰個狀態。
In case when the body is fasting, then there is only one real way how the body is built and sustained. You would have to eat again.
喺斷食嘅狀態嘅話咧，咁就如果你真係要維持呢個嘅生命嘅話咧，就呢個身體咧一定要咧必須要咧服食咧，佢先可以維持到。
In case of inertia or non-eating, the body never asks for fasting, does not feel hungry.
喺不食同埋咧全辟谷嘅話咧，咁就冇一個結束咧，個身體亦都唔會咧要求你俾嘢佢食咧，係唔會有服食嘅呢一回事啦。
Because it is fully built from the air that you breathe and from the sunlight, sunshine, and from we could say chi, the energy of the environment.
因為喺你呢個咁嘅狀態，呢個身體咧係靠乜嘢咧？係維生咧，佢係靠陽光啦，靠空氣啦，甚至乎咧啲氣能咧係維生，所以佢唔會要求你咧係俾啲外來嘅食物佢。
Actually, to be precise, I should say it's not the energy from the environment. It's the energy that you create because you have will of life.
可能咧，我唔應該講啦，話係依靠咧外來咧環境裏邊嘅氣流，因為你自己本身咧裏邊咧你有一個好大嘅強烈嘅意願，嗰個自由意志咧係要咧活落去嘅。
So in case of non-eating and inertia, your will of life is enough to sustain body. But when you are fasting, your will of life is enough to sustain the body.
In fasting, will of life can or cannot?
No, when you are fasting, it means your will of life is not enough.
Enough, OK。咁即係話喺全辟谷或者係不食嘅狀態嗰陣時，淨係單靠你嗰個自由意志，你要活落去嗰個意願咧已經係足夠咧，你維持啦生命啦。就相對咧，如果喺斷食嚟講咧，淨係靠意志咧咁樣死撐咧係唔得嘅，唔夠嘅。
So when you look at those three features and you analyze someone who claims he is fasting or maybe non-eating, then you can easily recognize whether he is in the state of inertia or fasting.
咁你根據咧呢三樣嘢去評估嘅話咧，你就可以咧一個人咧佢咩個狀態，咁你單呢三樣嘢計下數啦，就知道咧佢係喺斷食啦，仲係啦，或者係已經進入咗啦不食辟谷嘅狀態。
So he may be in inertia, non-eating, or fasting, or maybe even starving.
佢可能咧係辟谷、不食、斷食，甚至乎原來佢乜嘢都唔係，佢喺度捱緊餓。
Actually, I met many people who were in the state of starvation and they claim they are in the state of non-eating.
我碰到呢啲太多啲人啊，佢餓到死喺度捱餓啦，就話咧自己啦喺度啦辟谷者。
But I didn't say anything.
當然唔會揭穿佢啦，係
Let
咪？
them experience.
係咯，不過唔好意思，我想問下會唔會有一刻，例如佢捱下我咧，就突然間就升華咗，就變咗我一劈到谷啦，會唔會咁樣嘅
？Possible that somebody that in the beginning they're in starvation, and then all of a sudden that the starvation point, and then they go into the immediate stages.
And also the opposite is possible.
有可能，亦都係雙方樣都有可能嘅。
You are in starvation, but you do something with your mind. You allow your energy to emanate, and then you switch to inertia.
你捱餓咁，但係咧，你為做啲嘅心態或者係咧做啲咁嘅觀想，令到呢一幅 picture 啦呢幅嘅形象啦，就搞掂嘅觀想完之後，咪成咗呢個全辟谷，咪就唔餓咯。
Well, we've been talking for almost 3 days about non-eating, fasting, inertia, and so on.
講咗差唔多足足咧3日啦，講啦不食、辟谷斷食啦。
But I guess not all of you will go into inertia.
咁咧，可能咧大部分嘅你咧係仲未打算咧係進入咧係全辟谷咧有咁嘅目的嘅。
And maybe you will not be doing fasting every day.
Not every
Every day.
Not doing.
Maybe you don't do fasting every day.
OK， 或者咧你都係對咧斷食咧都係唔係日日都做。
So sometimes you will need to eat.
咁有時候咧都需要食㗎，係咪先？
Then you may think, what is the best way to eat?
咁你就話嗱，我而家咧又唔辟谷啦，又唔係唔食，亦都係未斷食嘅話咧，咁日常生活食嘢咧點食先至叫做好啲啊
Are there any principles that rule eating?
有冇咧有啲咩嘅原則，有啲咩嘅規則咧係可以咧令到我咧飲食咧上面咧係改善咧？
Well, there are some principles if you want eating to be most beneficial for you.
咁你話如果我食嘢嘅話咧，咁我根據啲咩嘅原則咧去食咧，咪比較對自己係有用咧，有利咧？
Principles of proper nourishment.
咁就係話點樣食咧，先令到自己咧有適當嘅營養咧？
I have listed about 10 principles of proper nourishment.
咁我列出嚟咧有10個基本嘅原則啦，係適當嘅飲食。
Actually, if you follow conscious eating, you don't need the rest because conscious eating contains all of this.
咁如果咧你能夠掌握嗰個覺知飲食法嘅話咧，就唔需要咧跟到咧呢度咁足啦，因為咧佢已經包含晒咧我所寫出嚟嘅嘢。
But before you really start to practice conscious eating, maybe you will want to do something else and still benefit from eating.
咁可能咧你咧個覺知飲食法咧未去到咧練就得咁上手嗰陣時候咧，有其他嘅一啲嘅guideline 啊指引嘅話對有幫助。
So we have the principle of sufficient chewing.
咁咧有一個咧就叫做咧係做足夠嘅咀嚼。
I already explained this.
咁之前我已經講過點解要足夠咀嚼咁重要啦。
When I was talking about drinking juices.
尤其是咧係飲果汁嗰陣時候。
In general, you chew as long as you need to change the food into complete liquid.
你要照幾耐啦？照到啦嗰個食物咧喺你個嘴巴裏邊咧變體咧液體為止。
Which means never swallow something which is not a liquid.
咁即係如果佢未變化成為液體嘅話咧，就唔好咧吞佢落去肚度。
Well, maybe except sometimes when you eat chemicals which are known as medicine.
咁咧就除咗咧就係你吞藥啦，咁藥咧就唔能夠變液體啦，咁你就例外啦。
Because they may have quite awful taste.
咁你咬爛咗粒藥咧，就會苦到死，可能唔理想啦。
And you see, awful taste means that the body is rejecting it.
係咪？咁如果你咬落去咧爛咗咧，佢好難食嘅話，其實你嘅身體咧係會抗拒佢啦嚇。
So there is another reason why we should chew the food quite long until it becomes liquid and then changes taste.
咁同埋點解咧？另一個原因點解要照嗰啲固體食物照到咧咁爛到好似液體咧，直至甚至乎嗰啲味道都變咗啦？一個原因係乜嘢咧？
When you take a solid piece of food and you start to chew it, after some time it will become liquid.
咁你咧就咬一啖嘅固體，咁咧就擺喺嘴巴度照到佢咧變成液體之後咧，嗰個味道開始就轉變啦。
And then don't swallow yet, continue chewing.
唔好啦，馬上啦係吞咗佢就繼續咧係去咀嚼。
You will feel it changes taste.
咁咧就慢慢感覺到咧，依個嘅食物嘅原味咧開始就變啦，個味道變咗啦。
And that is very important moment.
好重要啦，當佢味道一改變嗰陣時候咧。
Because when it changes taste, then the body can decide by using the sense of taste whether this food is suitable for the body or not.
好重要就係當佢變咗味道嗰陣時候，呢個味道咧，你個俾個信息俾個身體，個身體可以決定就係話呢一個食物咧，其實咧適唔適合我身體，我身體需唔需要咧呢一樣食嘢咧，佢可以引定佢。
We have the sense of smell and taste here.
我哋好多嘅感官啦，係通過我哋嘅五官啦、聞啊，咁就睇到啊咁樣樣。
Not in the stomach.
咁好多時候我哋感官咧係喺我嘴巴喺呢一度啦去感應，唔係啦落咗個肚咧先至我胃咧先去感應佢。
So when you swallow something before it changes taste, which means it becomes the real taste, you don't know whether the body wants this or it doesn't want.
如果你照佢照得唔夠耐嗰陣時候，佢仲未變到個味道嗰陣時候咧，就咕一聲吞咗落去嗰陣時候，個身體咧根本咧分辨唔清楚，就係話呢個係咪真正嘅味道咧？我身體真係需唔需要呢一樣食物咧？
So chew it long as you need so that it becomes liquid and continue chewing, mixing with the saliva until it changes taste.
照到爛晒之後咧，直至到咧繼續再照，味道改變之後咧，你就可以決定啦要唔要吞啦。
And then you can decide whether I swallow it or spit it out.
佢決定吞或者係咧，如果唔要嘅話咧，就可以咧甩翻出嚟。
If the taste is nice, you will want to swallow. If the taste is awful, you will want to spit it out.
味道變咗之後咧，你覺得身體仲係需要咧，你就可以吞咗佢。咁但係如果咧個身體變咗味係好難食嘅話咧，咁可能咧個身體叫你就我要攞翻出嚟。
In this way, you make sure that the body receives what it needs and does not receive what has nice smell and taste at the beginning.
咁可能咧，咁對個身體咧就係好好啦，就唔會咧呃咗啦，因為咧本來個味道咧唔係咁樣樣嘅，你呃咗咧就吞咗啲咧你身體唔需要嘅嘢。
You can make an experiment
可以俾自己去做一個實驗啦，
and see.
就係試驗一下。
At the beginning, you eat something very nice taste.
試驗一下啦，喂，你食一啖啦，頭一啖，哇，喺味道咁正嘅。
But when you chew it, and it changes taste, it's really awful.
咁咧就照咗一個境界咧，哇，味道變到咁難食嘅。
Many sweets and cookies are like this.
好多我哋嘅曲奇啊、甜品啊，就係咁噶啦。
And many milk products are like this.
牛奶啊，尤其是牛奶做嘅奶質類嘅東西。
Which means the body really does not want it. That's why it tells you awful taste.
身體咧根本咩唔需要佢，所以話俾你聽咧，佢好難食嘅味道咧，好難。
So make an experiment, check on yourself and see how it works.
你自己去試驗一下，整一炒啖乜嘢去試下咧，個味道變咗嗰陣時候會點樣樣？
If you chew it sufficiently, you will heal your body. It's a healing method.
亦都係一個嘅療愈嘅過程。如果你咧係咀嚼足夠嗰陣時候咧，會咧係療愈自己身體。
And then the next principle, while you are eating, do not drink anything.
另一個嘅原則就係話，你咧係叫飯水分離法。咁你食固體嗰陣時候就唔好飲咧液體。
Some people they eat and they drink at the same time.
好多時候人咧就一路飲嘢一路食嘢，係咪啊？
Why you should not do that?
點解唔好飲一啖食一啖？點解唔好咁啊？
Any ideas why?
有冇人知道點解要飯水分離？
係咪要稀釋咗啲胃液啊？
dilute the maybe dilute the digestive enzyme in your
Yes.
stomach。
That's one thing. And the second?
咁個其中一個原因嚇，
口水，大啲嘅口水。
水嚇。
會啲口水。
但係 dilute my saliva。
Yes. And the third one?
仲有咧
冇咗個震動啊嘛。
？No vibration。
No, but
vibration。咩震動啊？牙齒啊，the chewing。
yes, it will disturb the chewing.
咁咧就會
Because what you need to do, you need to change the solid food into liquid. But when you drink, you will disturb this process.
係啦，你咧，如果係你一路食嘢又一路飲嘢咁樣灌佢落去嗰陣時候咧，你會干擾個過程，因為咧你用嗰水撈埋啲飯落去嘅話咧，咁你就冇嗰咀嚼啦。
Because people usually drink because they want to eat faster, yes?
係咪好多時候我哋急急腳嗰陣時候咧，飲一啖嘢想咧吞咗佢落去，想食快啲。
So never drink while you are chewing.
即係你咬個固體嗰陣時候，唔好一路咬就一路啦，灌咗落去，灌水落去。
If you want to drink, then drink before eating.
咁咧，如果你飲液體嘅話咧，就係咧固體之前咧就飲飽咗之後就開始就食嘢啦。
And when you finish eating, don't drink at least 2 hours.
咁啊食完咧固體咧，亦都係咧停止嚇2個鐘頭之後先至飲嘢。
Well, it also depends what you finished eating. Because if you eat fruits and you chew them well, then you can drink water after even 20 minutes.
咁呢個原因咧就係都係會視乎㗎，視乎你食啲乜嘢啦。咁如果你食啲比較咧係容易消化嘅，譬如水果，咁水果咧你做到爛晒咧食落去咧，咁可能你食完之後半個鐘頭之後都可以飲水啦。
And of course, proper combination of food.
咁咧就組合啦。我哋食嘢咧係乜嘢搭咩嘢食咧係最好嘅。
People usually don't pay attention to this and they mix everything together.
好多人咧都唔會去留意咧食嘢嗰陣時候乜嘢搭乜嘢食咧係最好。
So I give you some examples of most often errors in combining foods.
咁俾你一啲嘅例子就係話咧，你食嘢嗰陣時候咧有啲咩嘅係叫做錯誤嘅示範。
So don't mix protein with sugars.
蛋白質同埋咧嗰個嘅即係二氧化係咪碳水化合物 ？Sorry。
Why not?
碳水化合物同埋嗰個蛋白質咧唔好溝埋一齊食，點解咧？
And also don't mix fruits with vegetables.
亦都咧水果同蔬菜咧唔好咧撈埋一齊食，點解咧？
Very often error people do. Mix carrot with apple.
呢個咧係一般晒你哋常犯嘅錯誤啊！就嗰個蘿蔔啦，就溝咗一個蘋果。
A serious mistake.
其實呢個咧係錯誤嘅配合。
So why you should not mix different types of food?
點解咧？水果亦都咧唔好啦，撈埋咧咁多唔同嘅水果咧就一齊食。
Tell me why.
你話幫我聽點解啦？
先食咗喎，咁點啊？
I just ate. I just make this mistake.
Don't worry, we all do that.
過去咗啦，唔需要擔心。
Well, because you didn't know, yes?
你之前唔知道嘛，
So you didn't have a choice.
咁啊之前唔知道冇選擇啦，
But now when you know,
咁你而家知道啦，
you have a choice.
咁你可以有一個選擇，
You can consciously harm yourself or decide not to.
咁你就可以咧，即係好有意識嘅明知故犯啦，或者你選擇咧係改善自己。
So I am talking this to give you a choice because when you have a choice, you can decide. I don't want you to change your eating habits.
咁我提供呢啲資料咧，係俾你咧提高一個意識啦，咁你就可以繼續咧去好負責任地咧、覺知地咧去選擇，唔係咧要你做啲好大嘅改變，你自己去咧安排啦。
Have you heard about digestive enzymes?
有冇聽過啊？消化嘅酵素，
They are kind of chemicals
消化嘅酵素亦都係一種咧化學嘅嘢。
that are excreted by the body.
呢一種咧化學嘅液體咧，亦都係身體裏邊咧自動會咧釋出嚟嘅。
They are also in the saliva.
亦都係喺口水裏邊咧含有一啲嘅酵素啦。
And so you see, for carbohydrates, for sugars, we have some enzymes.
喺嗰個碳水化合物啊嚇，咁咧就血明單化合物即係佢有糖分嘅嘢咧，佢哋有啲特定嘅消化酵素。
For fats, we have other type of enzymes.
如果要消化咧脂肪咧，嗰個酵素亦都唔一樣嘅。
For proteins, we have other type of enzymes.
蛋白質亦都咧有唔同嘅酵素。
So, but if we mix together different enzymes, then they will react among themselves and neutralize, which means they become less effective.
如果你咧係撈埋咧食唔同嘅嘢落去嗰陣時候咧，咁咪釋出咧喺個胃度咧唔同嘅酵素，咁酵素同酵質咧咁混亂嗰陣時候咧，佢哋嗰個功效咧就減弱啦。
If they are less effective, then the digestion cannot occur properly.
咁如果咁樣撈埋晒一齊咧，咁佢嘅酵素嘅發揮功能咧減弱嘅話咧，個消化咧就唔做得咧完美啦。
If it doesn't occur properly, it means it will putrefy in the body.
消化得唔好咧，佢停留喺個胃嘅時間咧過長咧就會咧腐爛啦。
And look at nature.
係睇下大自然。
How do they eat in nature?
你知唔知道咧動物點樣食嘢咧？
They just eat one thing.
每一次淨係食一樣嘢啦。
If the cow eats grass, it will eat only grass.
咁如果只牛啊要食草咧，佢淨係嗰一餐就淨係食草嘅啫。
If the lion eats meat, it will only meat, not meat and grass.
咁就獅子啦，食肉咧就淨係獅子就食肉，唔會咧食完肉就夾啲菜。
If the ant come, it will eat only sugar from the candy. It will not mix sugar with tea and with salt.
螞蟻咧就食糖就係食糖，又唔會啦喺路上面咧又食啲飲啲茶啊，又食啲鹽啊，食啲糖。
Even the monkeys, if they eat banana, they just eat banana. They don't mix it with leaves.
馬騮食香蕉就食香蕉，唔會食香蕉就食啲菜。
So only people have this idea to mix different
淨
types
係得人類啦，淨係就將啲嘢撈埋嚟食嘅啫。
strange idea which is not natural.
咁奇怪嘅，唔自然嘅。
So if you want to follow nature,
如果你想咧跟住大自然咧，
then focus just on one type of food.
每一餐食一樣嘢。
Which doesn't mean you eat only carrot and nothing else, for example.
唔係話你成碟咁樣紅蘿蔔就食紅蘿蔔，都唔係。
What I mean is don't mix different types of food.
即係咧唔同種類嘅嘢唔好撈埋一齊。
So let's say you want to eat fruits.
譬如話你話 OK， 我水果餐。
So there are fruits which grow on trees.
咁咧水果有分咧就係咧樹上邊嘅水果。
So you can eat apple,
蘋果、
mango,
芒果、
pear, and other.
梨。
All those which grow on
佢同類嘅。
high on trees. Yes.
同類嘅，咁佢喺即係樹上面啦，長大嘅水果果實。
Generally, you can mix them.
咁樣咧就一般嚟講咧喺樹上面呢啲咧同類嘅水果咧就可以撈埋嚟食啦。
But look, if you take mango and then you have this avocado. They grow on trees, but avocado is full of fat. Mango has no fat. It's mainly water and sugar. So don't mix fat with sugar. Yes.
啊，咁你嘅果實都係嘅喎，譬如話你牛油果咧就係咧大部分都係脂肪啦嚇，咁但係咧如果係芒果咧就係水分同埋糖，咁如果你咧牛油果同水分同埋糖咁樣撈埋嚟食嘅話咧，咁就唔得啦。
And in China, when I was in the seminar, they all drink banana with spinach mixed in this
哇！
blender.
喺大陸咧上堂我哋好鬼中意咧，就係嗰啲香蕉咧就溝埋嗰啲菠菜咁樣打出嚟飲。
I didn't say anything. I also drank that
我就一粒聲都唔出啦，都跟住飲啦，
because they give me. Yes.
因為俾人整到埋嚟啦就飲啦。
But it's an example. You have banana, which is sugar,
香蕉係糖分好高㗎，即係咧係碳水化合物。
and it grows high in the sun
咁
on
香
tree.
蕉亦都係咧喺樹上面好高㗎，係咪長出嚟㗎？
And then you have spinach, which is leaves, green leaves, and it grows
菠
on the
菜
ground.
菠菜咧係咧同個地下係個地長出嚟啦，喺個土地啊好低嘅，有陰涼嘅地方。
So different types of food, they do not agree.
咁樣嘅唔同咧磁場嘅一個嘅植物咧，同埋個水果咧就唔係好啱咧撈埋一齊食。
Different enzymes for the banana, different enzymes for the green leaves.
香蕉嘅消化酵素同埋咧嗰個綠葉消化酵素都好唔一樣，
You should not mix them.
最好唔好撈埋一齊食啦。
You see, nature does not allow mixing them. If animals want to mix, they cannot because they stay on the ground. They cannot jump on the tree and eat banana.
咁樣就啦，大自然咧都係咧唔鼓勵呢件事情嘅，睇下嗰個動物點會喺個地度食完之後咧，就喺度樹上邊咧就撈埋一啲香蕉食咧。
But you can take different leaves, some spinach and maybe some green onion and some other things, all of them which are green, and then you can mix them and eat together.
咁啊綠葉啦、菜咁好多唔同嘅菜都可以撈埋一齊食嘅。
Same with when you eat proteins. Yes?
譬如話咧你食嘅蛋白質都係一樣，蛋白質一樣咁嘅原理啦。
So that the same enzyme can digest the same type of food.
同一類型嘅東西咧，就同一類型嘅酵素去消化佢。
咁係咪真係而家嗰啲咧？我唔知係咪叫單一飲食法，即係淨係食一種嘢嗰啲。咁其實如果according to老師講，即係都係一個自然嘅方式去食嘢。
Right now they're promoting a method of eating. It's like you eat one type of food at one time. So it's the same
No, one
principle.
time. There's an
Not
Australian
one type.
lady. She only eats banana, and she lost weight, and then up to a point, optimal point, and is to stay healthy. And then she also have a baby later on, and it's healthy.
Only eat
She only
banana.
eats banana. She said no matter like I think she eats 80 bananas a day. But as long as you can eat as many as you want. 80. As 80. 即係你肚餓你就食啦。Whenever you're hungry, then you eat, but only eat one type of food or the same food. That's what.
Do you
So according
promote
to
that?
this principle is that kind of a natural.
It is
我有個
always
女
the
人
mind
喺澳
which
洲一日
rules
食
the
80隻
body.
蕉，
咁
淨係
就個
keep
原則
住咁樣。
上面就係話你信啲乜嘢，你個心咧係可以超越嗰個身體嘅，佢去主宰身體嘛。
So it is possible that you create programming in your instinct that you eat only one thing and
可能
you
嗰個女
will,
人
you
咧，
will be healthy for many years.
佢已經咧喺嗰個本能裏邊咧已經係編寫咗個程式，咁佢跟住個程式跑嘅話咧，咁對我嚟講咧就係健康嘅。
So she could do that.
咁佢可以做得到一樣食嚟食香蕉。
Many other people probably would not survive.
有啲人咧，佢咁樣做咧就死緊。
So first you need to make the change, the modification of the programs which are related to your eating, and then you can do different miracles.
咁咧或者咧你係開始咧去調整一下咧你個食物咧一啲嘅原則先，咁你咧可能從個原則開始咧，咁慢慢咧你可能咧去創造一啲咧俾自己叫奇蹟啦嚇。
There is a man I learned about him on Polish news.
喺波蘭嘅新聞上面有一個男人啦，
What he eats is wood plus soil plus grass.
呢個男人咧食乜嘢咧？食木啦，食泥土啦，食草。
He goes outside, collects some wood, maybe some leaves, grass, some soil, put into blender, and then he eats this. And he's done this for many years, and everything is okay.
有個波蘭嘅男嘅新聞報告㗎，咁佢話出街咧，佢咧就攞啲木頭啊、泥土啊同埋啲咧草啊，咁樣就打落去攪拌機度攪碎咗之後去飲，咁對於嚟講咧就冇問題嘅。
冇攪拌機冇問題嘅。
And then I saw a program about men who eats only steel and glass.
有一個另外一個仲精警，呢一個人咧個男人咧就食咩啦？食嘅鋼啊同埋玻璃。
For many years and everything is okay.
佢食咗好多年啊，鋼同埋玻璃冇問題，食咁多年嘅。
So as I said, the body is just a picture in your mind, and you can do miracles with the body.
咁身體咧係一個嘅心智裏邊嘅一個圖畫咁樣，咩都得，都要奇蹟。
So the next thing,
下一個。
food directly from nature, which means raw unprocessed.
咁樣就建議咧，就個原則就係盡量咧係食嗰啲直接喺大自然咧係攞到嘅嘢，咁就係咧生食啦，食生。
You already know why.
你知道點解啦？嗰個之前講過啦。
Human body is part of nature, so the food from nature is 100% compatible.
人體咧就係大自然一部分，咁所以咧大自然嘅食物咧好啱人嘅。
And you cannot improve the food from nature. There is no way to make it better.
太自然嘅食物啦，唔需要再加工㗎啦，佢已經係完美㗎啦。
If something is perfect, you cannot make it better.
本身已經完美，點樣再咧令到佢更加完美啦？
So you just go to nature, take it and eat. That's all.
係啊，咁好簡單，去大自然嗰度咧搜集落嚟就食得啦。
Without seasoning and flavorings.
唔好咧落一啲咧一啲嘅其實 seasoning 啦嗰啲咩？ 調味啦、調味料啊嗰啲都唔需要啦。
What do they do? The seasoning and flavorings.
咁調味料咧，咁要點樣搞啲食物
chemical.
Chemical and also what do they do?
調味料令到啲食物點樣㗎會？
In order to influence your nerve to addict to some direction, I don't know how to express it.
Yes. They cheat the taste.
你啊，咁調味料你啦，你就食唔到嗰個食物嘅真嘅味道啦。
See, if you don't want to eat a salad.
咁譬如話你咧本身身體咧本來咧唔想食咧一堆咧沙拉嘅。
Because it doesn't have good taste, you don't feel like eating it, yes?
身體咧就唔好想咧食咧呢碟菜，因為菜本身冇乜味道。
So if you don't feel like eating this, it means your body does not want this substance.
咁如果你身體咧唔想食咧呢一兜菜嘅話，咁即係話咧佢唔想咧食呢啲嘢。
But you want to cheat it, so you put some flavoring, some seasoning, make
我
it.
你嘅身體。
And then the taste is nice, so you eat.
咁你嘅身體咧，放啲咧調味料落去啊，令到咧盤菜好好食啦，咁令到身體咧就去進食。
But you still eat something which the body does not want.
咁樣個結果就話咧，都係食啲嘢咧，身體係唔需要嘅。
So if you really don't want to eat something which is natural, it means the body does not need it, so don't touch it, don't eat it.
咁如果你身體咧根本都冇嗰個胃口啦，係想食咧呢啲咁就係天然嘅東西嘅話，就唔好逼個身體咧佢咧要食呢啲嘢啦。
Yes.
I have a question. Because you say so. 嗱，當好似我哋啲沙律啊，頭先沙律嗰啲 fruits 本身或者嗰啲 vegetable 本身係我哋應該喜歡食嘅，但係可能 in Chinese 我哋又叫嗰啲咁樣食好似唔算好好味，咁我哋咪加咗啲 topping 上去嘅。係啊係啊。咁樣咁又算唔算？即係開頭我覺得唔 feel comfortable，因為覺得佢好 dry， 即係冇乜味。咁啊唔好想食。咁但係加咗啲 topping 即係嗰啲健康嘅 topping 即係，我又想食喎。咁你即係我有少少混亂。I know 如果啲 chemical 嘅嘢，我哋係唔應該食嘅。咁但係頭先嗰個情況，你可唔可以 anyway？
Okay, I just want to ask, just now like our lunch. So those fruits and those vegetables, those salad, okay, yes, it's very healthy and then I want to eat. But then because without all this dressing, all these additional flavoring, then it's not as appetizing. But then with those flavoring and everything, that the appetizers come and good. But then I'm confused because the dressing everything actually that is the natural way of doing it. It's not from chemical. So is it acceptable that way?
It is still cheating of the taste.
I think so.
Yes.
都係緊自己嘅。
Because really, when you take one of those leaves and you don't like, maybe you notice I took one of those big leaves and I ate it really with pleasure without anything. Yes.
譬如話頭先啦，一大塊葉啦，嗰啲葉啦係冇咧嗰啲嘅調味劑嘅話咧，咁我直然咁樣搣嚟啦，咁食咧，我覺得我食得好過癮，真係品嚐到佢真係真實嘅葉嘅味道啦。
So if you take it and you don't, you know it's healthy.
咁你
If you
知道
don't want to eat it, then it means though it is healthy, but it is not for you now.
咁你知道就係話嗰個菜啦係健康嘅，咁但係咧健康嘅菜，咁但係如果你食落嘴巴度咧，個身體咧係唔想食嘅，係冇咁嘅胃口嘅話咧，咁你都知道咧，可能呢個時間咧，你嘅身體唔需要食咧呢個菜。
What does it mean, healthy food?
咩叫做健康食品咧？
Because for me it's a strange term, healthy food.
咩叫做健康食物咧？
Well, maybe healthy food is something which is full of life, and it's not dead yet. It's not putrefied.
咁樣就健康食物咧就係點咧？佢唔係一個死物嚟㗎，仲係有生命力嘅一啲嘅食物啦，係唔係腐爛嘅？咁呢個就叫做健康食物啦，新鮮嘅。
Like healthy people. Yes, if I am alive, I am not putrefying, so I am healthy.
咁譬如人一樣啦，我冇腐爛嘅，我冇毒素嘅，我好健康嘅狀態，咁我就係一個健康人啦。
What we usually mean healthy food is that if we eat it, it will be beneficial for the body.
咁咧就話健康食物就係點啦？你食咗落去嘅話咧，對自己身體咧係有好處嘅，呢個叫健康食物。
So everything which is natural can be healthy, but also it can harm the body.
我所有咧，譬如話叫大自然嘅，叫做自然啦食物。咁但係呢啲咁自然嘅食物咧，對於你自己本人呢一個嘅身體咧，可能係健康，亦都可能係唔健康。
Even water.
譬如話水都一樣嘅。
If you need water, it's a very good and beneficial thing you should drink.
咁你水啦，咁對身體係有益處啦。咁當然啦，你飲水啦係對於自己有健康。
But the same water, if your body does not need it and you drink it, it's poison for the body.
唔係同一嘅水，咁但係呢個時間我身體係唔需要飲呢個水，你夾硬飲佢落去嘅話咧，咁呢個水咧就會中水毒啦，咁亦都係唔健康嘅身體。
Any food, any plant,
甚至
any fruit
包括水果、生果、菜呢啲所謂健康食物都係一樣，健唔健康係視乎咁樣。
If your body needs this and you eat, it's beneficial.
視乎你當時嗰一刻身體需唔需要，身體需要咧嗰個時刻食呢啲嘢咧，就叫咧健康啦。身體唔需要，你就算你點靚嗰啲嘢咧，你食落去咧都係唔健康嘅。
But if your body does not need it and you force yourself and you eat it, then it's a poison.
咁樣就叫做中毒啦。咁樣就係身體唔需要嗰陣時候，你夾硬俾佢啦，甚至咁幾健康嘅東西都好啦，都係啦毒素嚟嘅。
And the seasoning and flavoring, they are different substances. They may be herbs from nature, and they change the taste of the food. And you may feel the taste is nice and want to eat it, although you are eating something which your body does not need.
嗰啲嘅調味料啊，就算啦，你話我啲調味料都好自然嘅啫，我都用啲好健康嘅東西啦，係整個調味料嘅。咁樣，但係咁樣都好啦，你個調味料都係個目的咧，係去咧自己咧，就嗰啲菜咧俾自己食落去。咁但係你係可能咧係唔一定要身體唔需要嘅。
I always say, if you have a question, ask nature, look into nature. The answer is there.
如果你有個問題嘅話咧，你問得大自然，咁大自然會俾你一準確嘅答案。
About seasoning and flavoring, did you see any seasoning and flavoring in nature?
大自然
Do animals do that?
大自然有冇調味料啊？動物有冇落嘅調味料先食菜咧？
Did you see a lion catch something and then wait for a while? I get some herbs and put on them and eat.
獅子有冇咧？哇！喺食嗰嚿肉嗰陣時候咧，就拎啲調味料啦，滲落去之後咧，先咬嚿肉啦。
So nature has all the answers.
咁大自然咧有所有嘅答案。
And then eat only when you are hungry or thirsty.
食啦，或者係飲嘢啦，淨係咧肚餓嗰陣時候，口渴嗰陣時候先飲同埋食。
And when you are hungry or thirsty, you don't want to use flavorings and seasonings.
餓啊，同埋渴嗰陣時候咧，你唔需要咧咩嘅調味料咧，都會飲同埋食啦，係咪？
You just eat it.
咁淨係咧會食咯。
And the taste is nice.
咁樣就味道咧係好好。
And the next thing, drinking.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I have one question. Just mix up. 佢話頭先咪話咧，如果個身體唔想食咧，其實即係可能就算所謂嘅 healthy，其實你都未必食嘅。咁我有問題，因為有時我好少食麥當勞，咁其實麥當勞係唔好噶嘛。咁但係我好少食麥當勞喎，咁我點樣分有時啊？其實呢一個係我想食定係我唔想食
How distinguish it? A lot of time my body tell me I need to eat McDonald's. I know that my mind McDonald's food is not healthy. How to distinguish is it the real body need or is this what addiction?
Go, take it, bite and chew for a long time.
哦，你買個漢堡包，你咬一啖，照。
Until it becomes liquid, chew until it changes taste, and you will know the answer.
你買個漢堡包，照到碎晒佢啦，變液體啦，味道變埋嗰陣時，你就睇下要唔要啦，食啦麥當勞漢堡包。
Although in case of many products of McDonald's, we already know they are just poisons. You don't need to try.
都唔需要咁樣試啦，科學已經證明咗麥當勞嗰啲嘢咧係毒藥嚟，毒素好多係咪？
Not only poisons, they contain chemicals which make you addicted to this type of food.
咁同埋咧，佢裏邊有啲嘅化學啦嘅嘢咧，等到你係成癮嘅、上癮嘅。
The food industry uses some chemicals which makes you addicted to food.
好多咧係食物咧界嘅商業行為咧，就係加添一啲嘅東西喺裏邊咧，令到你咧係成癮。
Yes. So, drinking and storing water. I will talk about it later.
飲水同埋咧點樣去儲存水咧，遲啲先至講。
And do not eat after 4 p.m.
每日咧4點鐘之後咧唔好食嘢，原則上。
Well, 4 p.m. is, let's say, a statistical average.
咁咧就4點鐘過後唔食嘢嘅話咧，呢一樣嘢咧係統計學嘅平均時間。
The general rule says that you should go to sleep with completely empty stomach.
就係原則就係話咧，你瞓覺嗰陣時候咧，你要空肚咧去瞓覺。
So if you eat like at 4 p.m. you finish eating, then you can go to sleep, let's say about 10 p.m.
你4點鐘咧就之前已經食完你要該食嘅嘢啦，咁你咧就10點鐘到啦，就空咗個胃咧，就空腹啦，咁就可以瞓覺啦。
Because statistically it takes about 6 hours. If we eat so-called normal food, it takes about 6 hours until the stomach is empty.
正常啦，如果我哋咧係飲食嘅話，要啦6粒鐘咧先至可以咧令到佢咧排翻出體外。
But if you eat food which can be digested within 2 hours, then you can eat a little later, of course.
咁但係如果你食嗰啲嘢咧，佢消化咧係好好嘅，咁咪2粒鐘咧就消化完嘅話咧，咁你可以食嗰啲嘢。咁但係咧要佢完全消化好先至瞓覺。
But I suggest the later it is, the less beneficial it is for the body to eat.
The later it is, the less beneficial.
The later, the worse. The later you eat, the worse.
越晏食嘢咧就越對身體越唔好。
Yes. You eat at 4 o'clock, it's bad for the body. You eat at 6, it's even worse. You eat at 8, it's really bad. You eat at 10, you are just killing yourself.
4點鐘食嘢已經唔算好啦，6點鐘食咧更加之差，8點鐘食咧就慘啊，10點鐘食嘢就死喺度咧就自殺啦。
So, if you want, you can do this. I never eat after 4, that's all. You can make this rule and see what happens within few months.
你係可以自己咧去試下嘅。我而家開始我決咗個決定啦。咁我嗰個原則就係咧，我4點鐘過後咧就唔食嘢啦。咁你試一輪啦，譬如話試100日啊左右，咁睇下你身體有啲咩改變。
Or if you don't want to be so strict, you can say, I never eat after 6 p.m.
咁或者你話4點鐘太嚴格啦，咁你用試下6點鐘啦，6點鐘開始唔食嘢，咁你試一排睇下點樣樣。
If you do this, you will feel that your body health is much better. After few weeks, few months, you will feel really better and you will be able to get up earlier and will not be so weak in the morning.
咁咧你咧淨係咧做啦咁樣一做一排嘅話，你會發覺你身體咧成個精神咧亦都好好多，咁同埋你夜晚咧就唔會瞓咁長，你好早起身咧就會精神奕奕啦。
There is another reason also.
亦都有另一個原因。
You see, at night, what happens with the body is self-cleaning.
同埋咧另一個原因就係咧，你晚黑瞓覺嗰陣時候咧，個身體咧喺度大掃除咧，係淨化自己嘅內臟嘅。
That's why we have so many hours. We are fasting actually, and that's why in the morning we break the fast.
咁咧就因為咧，我哋喺晚黑咧呢個叫做咧，亦都係斷食。咁斷食完之後咧，咁我哋早餐已經叫 breakfast 啊， 就係咧嗰個叫服食啊，就 break the fast 嘅意思。
It again comes from nature. The human nature is built like this. You don't eat at night, so it means you are fasting through like 12 hours. Yes.
咁咧就應該係大自然啦。我哋咧晚黑咧太陽落山咧就唔食嘢㗎啦，咁俾自己咧有12個鐘頭咧係斷食。
Eat for 12 hours and fast for 12 hours.
食12個鐘頭啦，同埋咧斷食12個鐘頭，呢一個係大自然嘅定律。
So the night is the time of fasting.
晚黑太陽落山，咁就係咧斷食嘅時間啦。
Why fasting? Because when you are fasting, the body has the energy for self-cleaning, not for digestion.
因為你咧當你咧係唔食嘢嗰陣時候咧，咁你釋放好多嘅能量啦，嗰啲能量係會轉移咧係排毒嘅時間，就唔係咧嚟緊消化嘅時間。
And then when it is done, the self-cleaning in the morning, you wake up. You can wake up earlier and you are full of energy and strength.
晚黑啦，做完咧個大掃除嗰陣時候咧，咁身體都好乾淨啦，毒素排出體外嘅話，你朝頭早咧起身咧就好精神奕奕啦。
But when you go to sleep with full stomach, the body have to digest it, so it doesn't have energy for self-cleaning. So next morning you are weak, and the body is poisoned.
咁你食到咁飽啦，去瞓覺嗰陣時候咧，咁瞓覺嗰陣時候咧，本來要排毒啦，咁但係咧就除咗晒啲能量去消化，咁你就好沉重啊！咁你瞓完之後會覺得個人都好攰啦，同埋第日到都唔精神嘅。
And another principle: eat in silence.
另一個啦，就係咧原則就係咧食嘢嗰陣時候啦，唔好講嘢，靜默中食嘢，安靜咁樣食嘢。
Why in silence?
點解咁安靜食嘢啊
？Actually, when you do conscious eating, for sure you will want to eat in silence because then you can fully focus on what you feel.
係啦，咁你覺知飲食法嘅話，當然啦，咁你食嘢嗰陣時候就安靜啦，咁你先知道咧自己咧係咪喺佢個過程裏邊係保持覺醒。
It is important when you are eating, you focus on what you are doing.
重要咧就係咧，你喺當下咧食緊嘢嗰陣時候咧，你專注於咧你喺食嘢嗰個過程。
And also when you eat and talk, you cannot chew well because then you have liquid. You want to talk. What happens?
咁你一路食嘢一路咁講嘢就唔係啦，咁適當啦，係咪？裏邊咧有嘴巴有食嘢，一路笑一路講嘢。
So roughly, these are the proper nourishment principles.
大概啦，呢啲咧就係啦一啲嘅比較適當嘅飲食嘅習慣或者係原則。